The next item we're going to do, which is a total Easter treat, is rack of lamb. Now, we use domestic lamb, all grown and processed in the United States. What you'll see is when you get our lamb at our store is you can get it Frenched down. So we'll take, what Frenching means is to take all the fat in between the bones, trim it down so you have a nice presentation. So even if you're not doing a crown roast, which would be circling it around, you have a nice presentation. So the first thing, just like the tenderloin, the first step is searing it. We're gonna, again, just throw a little oil on here and just nothing more than salt and pepper. And then we're gonna go right onto the So with the lamb, as you can see here, you're gonna start to render off some of the fat, and you'll start to see some of this searing on the outside. I feel that the searing adds another dimension of flavor to it, as well as to help create a crust on the outside, which lends to flavor as well. And one of the other things that you want to do is lamb is pretty versatile, but we don't want to overpower it with you know, in my opinion, with heavy spice and things like that. So I feel it goes nothing more than classic aromatics. With this, real traditional style, rosemary, garlic, thyme, mint, mustard, real things like that that are going to kind of virgin olive oil really lend to the lamb. So to make this, to rub for it, it's really simple. You just take your blender, throw in some rosemary, some garlic cloves, some thyme, some black pepper, and then blend it all with olive oil. So while it's blending, you're pouring the olive oil in and you'll develop a paste. Now what this paste is gonna do is when the lamb's finished searing, we're gonna take the mustard, rub it on the lamb, and we're gonna top it with some of the rub, and it's gonna finish off in the oven. Again, all of these items, really like 4 to 5 ingredients, and that's it. We take our lamb, and we're gonna take a little bit of Dijon mustard, and we're gonna just brush it on the lamb. And go all over it. Try to stay away from the bones, because anything on the bones will end up burning. So one of the tricks that we do is whenever you're roasting lamb at home, if you want to keep that nice fresh look for presentation on the French bones, just take a piece of foil and just cover it up like that before you roast it in the oven. And what that'll do is help keep the bones from charring. The next phase is adding the rub onto it. We're just gonna take some of this. I'm just gonna blend it all in like that. Real simple. From here, it goes right in the oven. Now with lamb, I like to cook at a higher temperature, about 425 to 450. It's probably gonna take about 15 minutes. But with it at the higher temperature, we'll help develop that crust on the outside, keep the inside nice and soft. Now that our lamb is finished roasting, again, time and temperature. So personally, I like lamb at a medium rare to a medium, so about 130. Again, just like any other roast, letting it rest is the most important part to keeping it juicy. What happens is when you cook, the fats come to the surface. What we want to do is let the fats go back into the meat, which is what will help keep it nice and moist. So letting it rest, 15 minutes, 20 minutes is all you need. You could do one of two things with roasted lamb. You could cut it in between each bone, or you can certainly just take it and give everybody 2 bones, or cut it in half, or whatever you want to do. For this, I find the easiest way is if you look at here, you can see in between each bone. And so if you hold it to you facing this way so the curved part's out, you can see where that bone is. So that way when you cut, you get a nice, you're not fighting between the actual bone, like you get a nice clean cut. There's a cap on here. I like to leave this cap on when you roast it. You could certainly take this off when you're done with it if you don't want that little bit of extra fat. But to keep it moist and have that nice flavor, in my opinion, it's a necessity. Now, some of the other things that people use a lot of times with lamb is like a mint jelly. We have some other things in our store, a lot of jellies, especially locally made, that go dynamite with this. We have like a cranberry jalapeno one. Ooh, unbelievable. So just keep in mind, there's a lot of things in the store that we have that will go with both of these products. So if you have this and you just kind of make it look pretty when your guests come over,